Today on AKC Live, a woman who survived skin cancer is thanking her lucky dog. We talked to a doctor who studies the science behind this. And AKC Live goes off leash. All this and more on AKC Live. Welcome back to AKC Live from New York City, bringing you the latest dog news and entertainment from the American Kennel Club. I'm Sam Ryan, and my co-host today is this little guy. His name is Loki. Loki is a teacup Yorkshire Terrier. He's so excited to be with us here today, right, Loki? Right? Yes, he is. Well, today in dog sports news in West Springfield, Massachusetts, Best in Show on Wednesday, July 4th of July, at the Naugatuck Valley Kennel Club was Katniss, the wire fox terrier. Best in Show at the Naugatuck Valley Kennel Club on Thursday, July 5th. That went to Sophia, the Old English sheepdog there. What a beauty. Best in Show at the Kenilworth Kennel Club of Connecticut on Friday, July 6th. Ty, the Giant Schnauzer. And Best in Show at the Farmington Valley Kennel Club and the Holyoke Kennel Club on July 7th and 8th. Slick, the Border Collie. Congrats to all. Well, we now bring you an amazing story, not only of companionship, but how one dog may have been instrumental in saving its owner's life. Scientists have determined that dogs have an extraordinary sense of smell with 300 million olfactory receptors in their noses. That's compared to humans who only have about 6 million. So what can that mean? Well, for Lauren Gaultier, it means perhaps saving her life. Lauren's dog Persistence may have helped detect her cancer. AKC TV had a chance earlier this week to speak with Lauren about what her dog Victoria did. Take a look.
Victoria started to smell my right nostril approximately a year ago, and I noticed after she was doing it that there was a little bit of a red bump. It looked smaller than a pimple. She would actually press her nose right on the spot and start, inhaling and, almost shake her nose off after, like, she didn't like the smell. And I didn't pay much attention to it, but she would continue to do it. We often sit on the couch next to each other, and sometimes she would even put her paw on my arm and smell that portion of my nose. So eventually I thought maybe I ought to pay attention to her a little bit more, and I went to the doctor. And he looked at the spot and he said we should take a biopsy of it. And I have used tanning beds a lot in my past, and so I was concerned, told him about that. And the biopsy came back that it was skin cancer. So I underwent Mohs surgery. It's called MOH''S in November. And they had to remove the cancerous bump and also do a skin graft and use some skin from other parts of my nose to cover the hole. My doctor actually said that if it had gone on longer, if Victoria hadn't caught it, I might have lost a good portion of my nose. I've always felt very close to her. We've always had, I think, a very special bond, but I think it's really deepened a lot. She, obviously I'm grateful to her, and not only that, but the recovery of the surgery was a difficult thing, I think, emotionally, just because my face was, fairly disfigured for a little while, and she was a great support to me during that time as well. She's a very active girl, and she would, come and sit with me while I was sitting down or maybe feeling a little bit low, and she would, kind of run around and grab a toy or want to go outside, and so I think her happy nature got me up off the couch and back into the world and going for walks. I could certainly say that her nose saved my nose.
Wow, what a story. Talk about a good dog Victoria is. Did you know that there are doctors studying the ways that dogs can detect cancer in humans? Well, with that, we welcome in Dr. Cindy Otto. Dr. Otto is a tenured associate professor of critical care at the University of Pennsylvania School of Veterinary Medicine and is the executive director of the Vet Working Dog Center. Dr. Otto, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, it's my pleasure to be here.
When you hear of the story of Lauren and Victoria, does that surprise you at all that she credits her dog for helping her detect her cancer?
I don't think it's a surprise at all, really. I think that dogs are so capable of doing this. And we actually know the very first dog that that we recognized as being able to identify cancer was a dog that detected skin cancer. That was back in 1989 that was published. But I bet dogs have been doing that for a lot longer.
So you hear about those two stories in particular. How do you see dogs working in the field of cancer detection?
So I think there's a couple of different approaches that people think that dogs can take. And my approach is really from that of a researcher. I think that dogs have an incredible ability to detect these odors and to tell us information. I think that we can really utilize them, but I honestly have a harder time imagining what it's going to look like if these dogs were truly working in hospitals. I think that their skills are probably best harnessed in the kind of our research setting, so we can help design other strategies to really reliably help detect cancer.
Now, is there sensitivity, is this exclusive to a particular breed, or can any dog detect cancer?
Well, I would say it's not any dog, but I don't know that it's a breed. I think what we found with our dogs in our program is that it's more of a personality. Because asking the dogs to detect cancer, and the way we do this is we actually get blood samples from patients with cancer and patients without cancer. And so the dogs have to discriminate or tell the difference between very, very subtle changes in the smell of that blood. And so the dogs that do this well are dogs that have a real focus, a real intensity. They tend to be, I often call them our CPA, ones that have this very strong attention to detail. They're very different than some of our search and rescue dogs who are much more big oriented. Does that make sense?
It does, absolutely. It does make sense. You know, you talked about the differences between working in a hospital or in a research center and, you know, in regards to the dog. But what about training them? Are there challenges in training the dogs? And I know you said some dogs would, you know, are better at detection than others.
I think the training part is really, really interesting. And what we can do is we can train the dogs fairly easily to recognize odor, but then there's all of the complications that go along with that, or the confusion, or what we find is our dogs like to find the easy way out. And so if we're asking them to do something very difficult with their nose, they're going to look for other clues to help them say, yep, this is the correct one. And what we learned when we're training them on odor is that they really need to, you know, work independently, because if we're standing there and giving them direction and we know where something is, we do these subtle body language cues that they end up following that rather than actually working themselves. And so really paying attention to how they're working, what they're looking for, and how our own human influence, you know, we want to keep that out of the way.
You know, overall, Dr. Otto, what are some of the goals? You know, we opened by talking about the Vet Working Dog Center. What are some of the overall goals of the center?
So our center is a research and training center, and what we're really interested in is how can we help support these dogs that are serving us through detection work. And we're looking not only at our cancer detection dogs, but even explosive detection dogs, search and rescue dogs, police dogs. And we're interested in their genetics. We're interested in their physical fitness and their activity. We're interested in how we can best train them, what things affect their ability to detect odor. So really, we're looking sort of globally, holistically at these detection dogs and trying to provide the best medical, behavioral training to support them in these important jobs.
Dr. Otto, thank you so much for your time.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I could talk about these dogs forever. They're the best.
Awesome. Thank you. Time for us to meet a special lady. Sunday is the reigning AKC Agility National Champion in the 12-inch jump height, winning the title 2 years in a row. Now, this All-American dog from Michigan loves to work, and as Angie Benaquisto says, she just seems to get better over time. I caught up with Angie and Sunday at the National Championships in Reno. I'm I'm here with Angie Benequisto, and Sunday, the 2017 National Champion 12-inch agility. First of all, congratulations on the success of Sunday, who's still very young. How old is Sunday?
She's 3.
She's 3, so when did she start competing?
She started competing at about 15 months.
Last year, 2017, obviously earned her the national championship title. What was it about that year that you really saw something clicking?
She just really stepped up and showed me that she just started running like a big girl. The pressure got higher, she just got better. I just ran her like we always run, and the challenge around was how we got to finals last year. Only one dog makes it out, so you run with nothing, you leave nothing out there, and you just run as fast as you can, and I wasn't sure how she would react to that with so much energy and pushing her for everything she had, and that was her time to shine. As much as I pushed her, she just pushed back and dug in.
How has your relationship with her evolved through this sport?
She really loves to work. She loves to work with me. When she can't work, she's a little bit bummed out. And so together, I think over the last year, our teamwork has really gone to a new level.
And it's also taken you to Europe.
About a year ago, we had European Open tryouts, and she won her spot on the team, and she went to compete over in Italy last July. This past December, she went to tryouts again, and she won 3 out of the 4 rounds, and she won her spot onto the team going to Austria this summer.
What are you learning from her?
I'm learning to be better. She's just such a special little dog, and she's so calm, and she's so just driven and wanting to do well. She's just really teaching me how to stay calm and focus on our goals and make the most out of every opportunity.
What is she like when she's not on the ring? Because right now we see just how calm she is.
You know, and when she's in the ring and when she's working, she yells and she screams and she barks and she's just so ready to go and so enthusiastic to work. And then when she's at home or right after her run, she's just as calm as can be. She'll curl up on a couch, she'll kind of play with a toy by herself, but she's just got an off switch like you wouldn't believe.
So those moments right before stepping in the ring, how do you get her so excited and ready to run?
She's ready. She's watching and she gets all excited and all geeked up and she's just ready to go. I don't have to do much.
As far as getting her ready for this, I understand she gets massages. Just some of the preparation that goes into this.
Just the regular massage before a big event, more so than working on skills, we just focus on relationship and teamwork. And I find that can take you a long way.
Yeah, Loki got excited watching that, right, Loki? You can see dogs like Sunday strutting their stuff at the upcoming Houston World Series of Dog Shows, which takes place July 18th through the 22nd, and many of the nation's top dogs will be competing for Best in Show there. Joining us right now, AKC correspondent Bill Ellis to give us some Houston World Series of Dogs information. Welcome, Bill. Thank you for joining us.
It's nice to be here, Sam. Thanks. And with you and Loki.
And with Loki,
yeah,
right? So tell me a little bit about the show. Why do they call it the World Series of Dog Shows?
So the World Series of Dog Shows in Houston next weekend is a big event. There's big specialties and some group shows that happen on Wednesday, as well as 4 all-breed dog shows that happen Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday over the rest of the weekend. So it gives the top dogs in the country the opportunity to amass quite a few points.
Okay, so this is, you know, we talked about the days. What else can we expect to see throughout those days?
So on AKC TV, you're going to see the groups in Best in Show on Thursday and Friday. Those will be live streamed. And then after the event, everyone should keep looking on AKC TV. We'll be featuring lots of fun stories from Houston, from the dog show, as well as the other events that happen over the weekend.
What sets this apart from other dog shows? What makes it different?
Well, Houston, in addition to the regular dog show, there's a lot of other fun events that happen. So there's fly ball competition, there's a grooming competition, as well as AKC Meet the Breeds, Obedience, Rally. So there's a lot of different events happening over the course of the entire weekend.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to, you say fly ball, but you said grooming competition. We see grooming, and we've been behind the scenes at other shows, the AKC National Championship, Westminster. We see the grooming. So tell me about the grooming competition. What does that entail?
Yeah, so these groomers are going to be a little different than what we see in terms of the grooming at a regular dog show. Okay. So these people are going to do some more fun, creative things on their dogs that aren't in line with what we see in the ring every weekend at the dog shows.
So the groomers and the dogs that we see in the grooming competition may not be the same dogs that we see in the Best in Show competition.
That's right. There'll be some different ones.
And once again, how can we see what's going on throughout Houston?
Thursday and Friday afternoon next week, on AKC TV, we're going to stream the groups and the Best in Show competition. And then after that, we're going to continue to show some fun stories that we see over the weekend. So everyone should stay tuned for those as they get released.
Looking forward to it. Thank you so much, Bill.
Thanks, Sam.
Bill Ellis from the American Kennel Club. Right, Loki? He wants to watch, right? What's in a name? Sometimes quite a bit. AKC TV goes off leash and asks,
if you got a dog today, what would you name him or her?
Oh, I don't know. My wife would want her Sadie.
Flirt.
Flirt.
Yeah, that's a cute name. And she flirts too.
Oliver?
It depends on the circumstances of how I got the dog. Everything is always sentimental when I name a dog, so I don't know.
Snoops?
Rocky, maybe?
I like
the name for a girl, Bailey, because that was a friend of mine's dog's name.
I would go with something unique.
I like Bernie or Bear. If it was like a fluffy dog.
Donnie.
No.
Jackson.
Why?
Well, Michael Jackson is one of my favorite pop artists of all time, so I'll definitely name him after, the king.
Depend on the personality of the dog, probably.
Eddie. I don't know why. It just scared me.
Gargoyle.
I've always wanted a French bulldog that was like black and white named Beau, like after Baudelaire.
Probably if it was a her, I'd say Molly. A guy? I'd have to say Lewis, after me.
We'd have to see how the Rangers do next season, and we pick a name based on that.
Faith.
Why?
Because I believe that that's what keeps us all going, is to have faith, and to use that name every day of the week would be reinforcement.
Great names, right, Loki? How about Loki? We leave you with our good dog moment of the week, courtesy of Karen Winter Churchill. Send us your good dog moment to akc.tv/submit. I'm Sam Ryan, and thanks for Loki for joining us here today, and thank you for watching AKC Live.
Furniture provided by the dog-friendly Mitchell Gold and Bob Williams. Comfort for all.